20, 30 years ago, you could have a TV show and you could have, three people from, the right, three people from the left, and a couple of people from the middle, and they would have a dialogue, a discussion together. They would.
Why do I feel like I'm about to be offended?
Oh, shit. Here we go again.
Now, I wanted to talk about something. Have you heard of Don Lemon?
Yeah, because I saw Elon losing it about him.
He kept his cool, though, didn't he?
I never have heard of him before this blow up.
So Don Lemon.
I know nothing about him.
I'll school you a little bit on it. So he's quite noticeably blackish, but he's very much white. He's like one of those, white black people kind of thing. That sounds bad to say, but that's how he comes across. He has a husband, so he's of that affliction, and he's a CNN reporter who recently got sacked because he was making people feel uncomfortable. He just wasn't vibing with the whole thing, which seems really, really weird because he seems within their demographic. Like, that's two stones, one bird right there, but they got rid of him. So he had some time off. He came to X, and his demands for a contract were quite ridiculous. He had like a $8 million $5 million signing bonus, and $8 million per year salary. These are his requests. He wanted to have a full day of drinking and partying in Vegas, paid for by Twitter X, and he also wanted a customized, fully spec'd out Cybertruck as part of his kind of deal. But it goes crazier than that. He also wanted to have input and stock and I think partial ownership of Twitter. He wanted to kind of be one of the decision makers of Twitter. And that's what came about, Elon actually sitting down with him and talking. And you obviously saw some of the clips from that. And I think Elon was very direct, and it certainly came across like he had these demands made to him like 2 minutes before they hit record on the interview because of how he handled the entire interaction.
Yeah.
What stood out to you about Elon's demeanor?
He was annoyed.
He didn't want to be there.
He was frustrated, and he was just sick of these games that are kind of going on, and just going like, see, this is the problem. Like, this is exactly right here. This is what we need to stop. And this is what I'm trying to show you guys is going to ruin the world.
Because the questions that this Don Lemon had as well, there were questions like, Jay, so recently you were just like indicted on this and this and this. You must feel pretty bad. Is that why you do drugs, to kind of, keep mentally focused? You just have to have that time off. So how do you feel about your drug usage? That's the kind of questions he was asking. So, that's like a confrontational, it's called gotcha journalism, where the whole kind of thing is to sit down with somebody and have these rapid fire, uncomfortable questions shot at people. And that is why a lot of big name people, celebrities and whatnot, have question lists that are sent out. So, you can't ask this, you can't ask this, you can't ask this. This is why they have it. This is why Joe Biden has specific people he points to in the audience to ask him questions, because it's all kind of pre-planned. But Don Lemon went on and tried his best to break Elon. And he was fired immediately.
Yeah.
So he didn't get his demands. He didn't get his Cybertruck. He was on like $24 million a year, so he would have been able to afford a Cybertruck anyway. But yeah, a bit crazy.
Well, I mean, you've also got Candace Owens. She got fired.
She got the can, yeah.
From the Daily Mail. And I mean, I don't know exactly.
Oh, the Daily Wire.
Daily Wire.
Yeah.
The Daily Mail, that's from Spider-Man, isn't it?
The Daily something, yeah. The Daily Bugle, yeah. Candace Owens fired from the Daily Bugle.
It just seemed, I don't know exactly what it was over, but I mean, it sounds pretty strange that she came out not so long ago saying about the French dude's wife that was transgender. talking about the conspiracy theories about that and all the proof and stuff like that. And then a couple days later, this has gone down.
Well, yeah, good call, because she had a whole breakdown. You sent me that video and I watched it, and it was very interesting. It's like a 15-minute video of her breaking down that this, the French President Macron, his wife, basically has no history from before 30, but her supposed brother, which is lost, had history from 0 to 30. So it seems weird that someone existed from the ages of, birth to 30. They disappeared off the face of the earth, apparently. And then from the ages of 30 onwards, this woman appears. I find that incredibly interesting. Very good kind of piece, really. I'm not sure if that's still up. I'm not sure where you can find her content, or her old content at least, but I found that to be a very good piece. I'm glad you sent that to me, because I would not have probably seen that otherwise.
I mean, like, do you think that she moves to X and gets employed by X, or?
I think it would be a good move, because Tucker Carlson went to X. He's on a pretty good contract.
Because Elon was like, "Oh, I've saved 7 or 8 million now. Who should I bring over?" That was his response.
Here's the thing. What I want is, do you remember, like, you might not remember, but 20, 30 years ago, you could have a TV show and you could have, 3 people from, the right, 3 people from the left, and a couple of people from the middle, and they would have a dialogue, a discussion together. They would all be civil. They would all be nice. They wouldn't be at each other's throats. And they would kind of, just be general people that were able to work together.
Yeah.
Now what happens is you've got, the right side of news, which is in their own little bubble, the left side of news in their own bubble.
Yeah.
Very rarely do they mix. I really want Elon to, in a way, I was excited if Don Lemon was going to come across, because having him next to Tucker Carlson means that you could have those uncomfortable discussions with 2 people who are hopefully going to see eye to eye. Candace Owens being over would be great. But she's kind of on the same side of the fence as Tucker Carlson. You really want people from everywhere to have that old school feeling of a group of intellectuals discussing what's actually happening. You probably know exactly what I mean, because you've seen it. You either see news that only shows you one viewpoint or the other viewpoint. So where's the middle? There is no middle now. But having said that, she is a multimillionaire. She's made her money. She can probably go back to what she was doing before and be just as popular. But she was croaking about how she's unfireable by Ben Shapiro the day before, and then the day after she was let go. A bit telling. It shows really how much power the Daily Wire has, because they could scan her, which is a bit unfortunate. But she also tweeted, "I'm free."
Oh,
which I hear a black person, I'm just going to say it, black person. I hear a black person say, "I'm free." And that makes me think that in their mind, they kind of felt a little bit held back, tied down, locked
I
in.
think there was maybe a contract that she was tied into, that she felt like she was worth more, or the ratings that she was getting, the things that she was talking about was worth more than her initial contract or something like that. And now she's saying that she's free. So maybe she stirred the pot to get them to basically fire her so that she can go off to get another deal, another contract somewhere else.
Well, yeah. I mean, like with her, she's going to be worth a lot of money, because she's going to be speaking to African Americans. She's going to be speaking to white people. She's going to have multiple eyes on her, essentially. Like, if there's anyone that I would see hosting a real show, like a televised TV show, she would be someone I would think would be a good candidate for that, because she has such a good demeanor and, like, she has a great way of talking. Quite envious of that, really, sometimes. But she said her crime is that, so this is an exact quote, "My crime is that I do not believe that American taxpayers should have to pay for Israel's war on the wars of other countries. I will not change my mind. So the question is, what will you do to me next? The world is watching." So essentially she's saying, America, you American people, you shouldn't be fronting the money for a completely other country's war. But in the same token, that's been happening with Ukraine. They've sent billions and billions and billions to Ukraine to help them.
Yeah, well, they've just tried to announce a $1.2 trillion spending bill that got basically, I think, knocked back and rejected. And now they've got like a 3-day or 4-day period where they're trying to basically get it out to actually happen. It's got more money going to Ukraine. It's got more money for this, more money for that. But it's 1.2 trillion spending bill. That's crazy.
I mean, if you're able to give 1.2 trillion to a nation to give illegals, prepaid credit cards with thousands of dollars on it, here's the thing: what are you doing for your residents? Because you're seeing record numbers of homeless people living in the streets. San Francisco's been turned into like a shanty town. In New York, you've got, it's safe to not, you can't travel the trains because you're getting stabbed and shot. The police aren't there to help. It's just something's not adding up. It's like they want chaos and they're not willing to invest in their own country, but they want to look like the good guys for everyone else.
I don't know. I can only think of conspiracy theories when I hear that.
Exactly. Yeah. And that's the crazy thing, because you feel like a nation wouldn't do this to themselves, but I feel like the more you think about it, the more you think like, yeah, it seems like they're doing it to themselves and it looks like it's on purpose.
It sounds like a way of like just moving money out, laundering money, basically.
Laundering money? Yeah.
Yeah, like
send
shit.
it out, clean it, send it back.
We're going down. Like, shit's going down. We need to get the money out.
This could be the world's biggest money laundering exercise, and it's happening in front of everybody. And it's at the US taxpayers' expense. Thank you for watching Glass Culture Podcast. If you liked this video, click here to subscribe. If you want to see the full podcast, click here.